Hey everybody, I'm back again. Day number 9 of this quarantine. I'm not sick, by the way. I'm not actually quarantined, but right now work is shut down and they're asking us to stay home and stay indoors as much as possible. So that boredom has led to this video and a couple other that I've done this week. I don't know if if you've checked them out. But today, I wanted to continue on with this small series that I've been doing about fragrances that don't get used very much in my collection. And the fragrance that I want to talk about today is Bortnikoff's Oud Monarch. You can see this is not a full bottle. This is a 9 ml. The perfumer is Dmitry Bortnikoff. This is a guy who is sourcing all really of the best ingredients that you can find for a fragrance. I'm sure that these fragrances contain some synthetics, as most fragrances do, but the concentration of natural oils and resins and so forth is going to be a lot higher in something like this than something you would find at a department store, which has almost no natural ingredients at all. The notes in this fragrance include several different types of oud. I believe either some of them or all of them are distilled by Dmitry himself. This may contain oud from another oud distiller. I forget. Anyway, contains cacao, which I typically do not like in fragrance. Has a bunch of white florals, including magnolia, frangipani, and some others. This fragrance is, you can see by the color, it's kind of dark. It's kind of I wouldn't even classify this as an oud forward fragrance. It's more, to me, an amber fragrance. If you like ambery fragrances, tobacco type fragrances, this I say would fall into that kind of feel, that kind of genre. Now, some of the other fragrances I've talked about, they don't get used very much because they're loud or they're offensive or they're just strange. That's not the case with this one. This fragrance is beautiful from start to finish, and it's not offensive at all. People around you will like this fragrance. The reason that I don't use it very often is because I'm just kind of saving it. This is a masterpiece. It's stunning, absolutely stunning from start to finish, and it has this quality about it that's meditative or centering. It just gives me an overwhelming overall sense of well-being when I wear it, and it's super expensive, so I've been kind of stingy with it. I've probably gone through, you can see maybe 25% of this 9 ml, and I would love to own a full bottle, or actually multiple full bottles, but a full bottle is about $350. For $350, you got to understand, this is not made, out of just a bunch of cheap synthetics thrown together and slapped in a bottle. A lot of care and a lot of very expensive ingredients went into making this, and it really it's very evident when you spray it. It's completely unisex. If I had to describe what it smells like, it's got kind of a honey overtone. It's very lush. It's plush. It's rounded and full. There's no sharp edges to this. It's a little spicy. It's slightly musky, but not like an animalic funk. It's just a little bit of a clean musk in there. And the spices are a little bit dusty, but the musk and the florals give it this creamy, smooth aspect as well. Very, very hard to describe. You know, if this was a person, it would be like someone wearing a cashmere sweater and corduroys. You know, it's just like very warm and fuzzy and plush. It's very long lasting. It lasts on my skin more than 8 hours, lasts on my clothes more than 24 hours, which is really fantastic. It's got a moderate scent bubble. So, you know, if you apply 3 or 4 sprays, people are going to smell you. And they don't necessarily have to get close, but they're not going to smell you across the room. They're not going to walk into a room that you're seated in or standing in and say, what is that smell? So I would say projection wise, it sits just about perfect. I tend to like stuff that's on the louder side, but for something this heavy, I mean, this is an extrait, and if it was any more powerful, I think it would actually be too much. But I wanted to give a quick review to this fragrance in particular because although it doesn't get used that much, like I said, it doesn't get used because I'm just hoarding it. You know, I probably, in my fragrance wardrobe or whatever you want to call it, I probably have maybe 70 or so fragrances at the moment that I cycle through, and many of them, maybe 20 of them, which is a big portion, are ambers, tobaccos, those types of warm, spicy, oriental fragrances. Hats off to Dmitry Bortnikoff. I got to tell you, if you're watching this, I could easily eliminate every single fragrance that I own in that genre and just exclusively use this the rest of my life, and I wouldn't be missing out on anything. I have not come across a fragrance that's better than this one, hands down. So for a blind buy for me, this was just a home run right out of the park. I mean, amazing. Just the fragrance itself, the notes, the composition, that smooth, creamy, kind of cakey. It smells almost like a spiced, moist cake. And I don't typically like gourmands, and I'm not actually saying that this is gourmand. It's not, but it just has so many facets to it, with that oud just running in the background, just a slightly dusty, slightly astringent oud smell. If you weren't familiar with oud, you probably couldn't put your finger on what that was that you were smelling. And even you know, I'm very familiar with oud, but if I didn't know that this had oud in it, I might have missed it. Just an absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful creation. I couldn't recommend anything higher than Oud Monarch by Dmitry Bortnikoff. Congratulations to Bortnikoff for this. I'm sure many of your other fragrances are as good or maybe even better than this one, but this is just an accomplishment. So I guess that's it for now. If you would like to purchase this, this is completely unisex for anybody that's watching this video. Man or woman could pull this off. And I know it's super duper expensive, but if you want to do something nice for somebody that you love, your partner, I would highly recommend to just buy the small one of these. Maybe for, you know, a birthday gift, or, you know, a little date night gift. Anyone would be happy to receive this. And if you are going to purchase it, you can get it from a couple different places here in the States. Lucky Scent is one of them. If I were you, I would go and purchase it directly from Dimitri on his website. Of course, when you purchase directly from the source, directly from the artist, more of the profit goes to him, and he definitely deserves much continued success and acclaim for putting out stuff like this. So that's my rant for today. Thanks, guys.